we do have an update on a situation that has been unfolding in Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow has been released.
No, that did not happen.
Okay.
That is fake news coming out of Chus's basement in Pittsburgh.
No, it was an assumption. I was just asking.
Oh. No, Joe Burrow has not been released. However, we may have some news on Ja'Marr Chase.
He got traded.
No, what the?
Oh.
What are you? No.
I'm just stirring the pot.
Yes, you are. Schefter. Okay, so Ja'Marr Chase has been holding in. He has been coming to practice, but he has not been practicing with the team. And Adam Schefter has been, he doesn't know anything. The Bengals and Ja'Marr Chase have been very lock and key about this. They haven't been telling Schefter anything. He actually went on ESPN yesterday and said, "We don't know the situation, but I'm going to assume that Ja'Marr Chase is not happy." And Ja'Marr Chase hasn't said anything. Ja'Marr Chase hasn't been tweeting. He's been doing the anti-Ayuk. He's just been staying quiet. He's been showing up to practice. He's been talking with guys, been hanging out with guys. He just wants a new contract, which is fair. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
And Bengals fans are like, hey, you know what? Justin Jefferson's already been extended. CeeDee Lamb's been extended, or is in the process of getting extended. What? Just pay the man. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Well, let's see here. I see a tweet here from a source I trust, and it says Richard Skinner, who is with the local 12 news station, tells Austin Elmore on ESPN 1530 radio that he's heard Ja'Marr Chase and his camp are looking for a 4-year deal in the $160 million range with $120-ish million guaranteed from the Bengals. Now, to put that in perspective, Justin Jefferson got $110 million guaranteed in his extension. And if we do some quick math, if we add on his current 2-year deal and about $32 million, that would bring his current amount of money up to 6 years and $192 million at $32 million per year on average. So these wide receiver contracts are getting crazy. And we know Ja'Marr wants to get paid more than Justin Jefferson, his old college buddy. He said that. They both said that they wanted to be the top paid wide receiver. Ja'Marr had the ability to wait, though. And with CeeDee Lamb in the wings, I'm saying just pay him. Just do it. Spread it out. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not the math guy. I'm not in charge of the money. But we need Ja'Marr Chase. And Chad Ochocinco, and I love Chad, but he came out and said they're going to get the deal done, but this week. He said this week. So I'm waiting, Chad.
Wow, it's Wednesday. So I mean, the week's kind of running late here.
He said this on like Monday, so I'm waiting, Chad. But he also said that Ja'Marr Chase will not step on the field without a contract. Now, I don't know how true that is, but
I doubt it. You can't tell me that he's not going to step on the field.
If week 1 for some reason we don't have Ja'Marr Chase out there,
I think you guys still would be fine. I mean, you guys still have T. You still have T.
Yeah, we have T, and we got the guys, but it's like, again, that week 2 game. If he's not out there week 1, I'm going to be worried week 2 because I can't see Ja'Marr skipping the Chiefs game. He likes to chirp at the Chiefs a lot, but still, I mean,
I don't know.
Contracts are insane.
I was going to say, I feel like he's a little different than some of the running backs and some of the players that have held out in the last couple of years. I feel like Chase won't do that. I mean, obviously, I think he'll be a little bit more frustrated, or he might pull more of like an Eric Ebron, where he'll kind of not play to his fullest extent until he does get paid, which is also a possibility because Eric Ebron not always, but kind of seemed like in his final years of his contracts, always kind of seemed to not necessarily play to his, or vice versa. Either way, like there was always points where like he always didn't seem to play to the same intensity until either his contract was up or like ready to be expired, or it was his final year where he was waiting to get signed again. And it might be just what Chase does. He might only give it like 50%, give T a lot more of the reps and wait until he gets paid. And then he'll be like, all right, now I'm going to go 150, which, doesn't want to risk injury. May want to.
Man, a lot of fans are saying that's way too much money to pay Ja'Marr Chase.
It is a lot of money, though. I mean, it is, but I mean, also you kind of have to. I have a question though for you. I mean, would you pay Ja'Marr Chase and then maybe have some all right wide receivers, or would you be more willing to have T. Higgins and another type of T. Higgins wide receiver? Because you could have 2 T's or 1 Chase. And maybe not. I know you want both. I know you want both, but it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. And I'm looking at the Bengals' history of drafting wide receivers, though. As much as I would love both, it's easier to replace T. Higgins than it is to replace Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially because of him and Joe's history.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm saying I want him to get paid before CeeDee Lamb gets paid. Because I don't know what CeeDee Lamb's going to do. I'm worried that the Cowboys are going to get super desperate and overpay CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know what they're. The Cowboys are an interesting watch though this season because I'm pretty sure isn't it Dak and CeeDee Lamb that are both contracts are up? Both of their contracts are up this year. Okay, so that's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to watch out for. It's do you keep Dak and CeeDee Lamb? Do you keep Dak? Do you keep CeeDee Lamb? Do you keep neither? Do you reset?
Micah Parsons' contract is coming up too.
Yeah, you got to think about all of this stuff in Dallas, and you guys haven't really gotten past the playoffs. Like you always lose somewhere in the playoffs somewhere. I don't remember where they lost last year. It was like they lost to Green
Packers.
Yeah, I was gonna say they lost to Green Bay last year, but they haven't really gotten that far over the last couple of years. They've always fallen just a tad short. Now last year they did not fall a tad short. It was kind of a blowout. Don't kid yourself. Don't like going back to that score. It was quite a blowout, but it does make you wonder is it in Dallas? It's one of those things where it's like, is it Dak and CeeDee Lamb? Is it, Micah Parsons you want to keep? Are you willing to keep all three? Is somebody going to be willing to restructure their contract? And it gives a lot of opportunities for what could be for next year. I mean, maybe we see CeeDee Lamb in another jersey, which is kind of interesting. Could he pull a 180 and end up in like a team that really needs a wide receiver like New England? Where it's like, not necessarily New England, maybe not, but they really need a wide receiver, and he could change the entire complexion of New England. Historic franchise, 6 Super Bowls, maybe puts them over the top. I don't really know what it looks like in New England, but it's one of those things. Or a situation with Dak Prescott. Let's say one of these quarterbacks, like let's say in Minnesota, maybe they don't think that McCarthy is their guy, so they bring in Dak Prescott. And, maybe that changes it. Because remember, we saw how well Kirk Cousins performed. And now all of a sudden you have a Dak to Justin Jefferson offense. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. I'm not saying it will, and I don't mean to get anybody excited, but then it also opens those doors for Dallas to also maybe sign different players and different things like that. Maybe T. Higgins.
Yeah. I think if you can't afford T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you're not going to be able to afford Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
I said, wait, no, I'm talking about Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I meant Dallas. No. I meant Dallas. I was like, if CeeDee Lamb leaves, it opens the door for Dallas so that maybe they could get somebody like T. Higgins and bring in somebody else,
I'm following along with what the media is sharing with. So I understand why people are freaking out about this contract. I really do. Like, it is a lot of money. But as Joe Goodberry is kind of talking about right now, who he's a Bengals analyst, very smart guy who, if you want to know more about the Bengals and scouting, follow his YouTube channel. He's super great. But Jamar Chase is a top wide receiver. Is he better than Justin Jefferson? Statistically, no. But the fact is, you cannot replace the chemistry between Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase has been great for the franchise. He has never been super dramatic. $32 million a year. That cap hit isn't going to be for how long? And you can front load this so that maybe the huge cap hit is in 3 years, and then the rest of the contract is easy. But like Joe Burrow's huge cap hit doesn't come till 2029 of a $55 million cap hit. You can balance these things out. You can make it work. Like, don't get freaked out by the average amount. I think, and someone else here is pointing out that Jefferson's total was 5 years, 157 mil with new money. Chase would be 6 year, 190 mil with new money. But when you do the average cap, it's actually cheaper to pay. It's $2 million average per year to pay Jamar Chase that right now because of the extra year. So I'd say do it. I'm writing the check.
I mean, obviously also with Jamar Chase, he's one of those generational wide receivers. I don't think he's one of those wide receivers that you would want to let go of. And like I said, he's not one of those easily replaceable guys. He's a star level talent that also has played with Joe Burrow before. You kind of want to keep that connection, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was, I understand, like, this comparison has issues, but like Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, it's like, okay, Tyreek Hill walking, everyone was like, Patrick Mahomes is never going to win another Super Bowl again. But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, and also they didn't have that long-term chemistry. Now, Tyreek Hill is an animal, don't get me wrong, but I feel like
cheetah.
You just can't replace that chemistry. I think the Chiefs would have had a much bigger issue if Travis Kelce left Patrick Mahomes, because Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have a deeper relationship.
I would agree with that.
I don't think Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes necessarily had at that point in time. So I'm trying to look at all the factors here, and I get it. It's a scary number. But again, these wide receiver contracts aren't going to get cheaper. We have a ton of wide receiver talent. Just look at this draft class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in 3 years, you're going to be having Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. They're going to be wanting new contracts. And if it seems like the wide receiver market is following the quarterback market in that it's jumping exponentially, you're going to have guys who are getting overpaid. Like Daniel Jones got super overpaid, and it blew up the quarterback market because then everyone was like, okay, he's like a top 20 quarterback, if that. So now we have to pay the top 5 quarterbacks a ton of money. Just get it done now. Get the average done. It's scary now, but in the long term, it will not be a bad contract. Just get her done.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Got to wait and see now. It's only Wednesday. Nothing other than the update on the contract. We don't really know much more. So we'll keep you updated.
Yes, we will.